Hey guys, it's CJ from smartktai.com. Today we're unboxing the Google Nexus 7. I've been anxiously waiting for this tablet to arrive, and now that it's here, I'm especially intrigued to get acquainted with its smaller form factor. If you watch my videos regularly, you know I've had multiple iPads, the Motorola Zoom, the Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1, the Asus Transformer Prime. All of my tablets have always been around the 10-inch mark, so this 7-inch tablet will be a whole new experience for me. Hopefully a positive one. I actually wanted an Android device with a screen larger than that of my smartphone, but something more compact and lighter than the tablets I usually get. I wanted something I could quickly throw in and take out of my bag when I'm on a trip, a device I could easily maneuver while on a plane, maybe a tablet that's super convenient to handle when reading an ebook in bed. I also believe gaming would be more comfortable with a smaller sized tablet. So when Google recently announced the Nexus 7 with powerful specs and at an affordable price range of $200 to $250, I knew I had to give it a try. So without further delay, let's get to the unboxing of the Nexus 7, the first device to come preloaded with Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. So let's flip it to its side. You can see Nexus 7, and of course it is made by Asus, the same guys who make all those great computers and the Transformer series of tablets. A bit of information on the back, nothing terribly interesting. Let's pull it out of its sleeve. So we have a black box. Now I got this 16 gigabyte model. There is an 8 gigabyte version as well. Difference in price is $50. I recommend going for the higher price model because there's no expandable storage. So you won't be able to throw in a micro SD card or anything like that to supplement the storage. You're going to need every gigabyte on the device. So let's open it up. Got some stickers here. Cut this open. Alright. Alright, let's see if we can get this out of here. Very snug fit. I almost want to rip the box open. There we go. Shimmy it out. There. Alright, so there is the Nexus 7. Let's pull it out. It's wrapped in plastic. Put the box off to the side for a second. Alright, it looks like the device isn't properly framed in this shot, so let me readjust and come back in a second. And we're back. Okay, so here is the device. You can see it's wrapped in plastic. Let's go ahead and pull all that off. Flip it over actually. Alright. Wow. Feels very nice on the back. Sort of hard, but it's coated in some kind of special coating. Almost looks like leather, but obviously it isn't. More on this a little bit later. So flip it back over. First impressions. It is light, but it does have a little bit weight to it, so it doesn't feel cheap because it has a little bit of heft there. It's actually pretty thin. I expected a little bit thicker, but it's quite thin. I believe it's 10.45 millimeters thick, so that's about 1 millimeter thicker than the Galaxy Nexus. And then it weighs 340 grams. So very nice feel, definitely perfect for one-handed usability. And let's go ahead and take a closer look here. Of course, on the inside we have an Nvidia Tegra 3 quad-core processor and 1 gigabyte of RAM. If we zoom into the top, you can see there is a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera. And then below that, of course, we've got the 7-inch 1280 by 800 HD IPS display at 216 pixels per inch. Of course, there aren't any buttons around the tablet at all. Those are all going to be virtual, just like all the other larger tablets out there. So let's take a look around the sides. Looks like this side is flush. There's some docking pins over here. If you want to get a look at that, looks just like the Nexus, Galaxy Nexus actually, on the sides of the device. On the bottom, we've got our micro USB charge and sync port, then a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Zoom in on that for you. On the other side, we have our volume up and down rocker. And then next to that, we have the power button. Along the top, looks like it's flush. Then if we flip it to the back, it says Nexus in big letters, ASUS down here. Let the camera focus. Alright, now we can get a good close shot of this. Again, it looks like leather. Almost looks like leather that you would find on your seats in a car. Very sporty looking. I like this a lot right away. So again, very premium feeling for at such an affordable price point here. Again, it's only $200 to $250, but it still feels like a high-end tablet, just a little bit smaller than those would normally be at. I think now's a good time to do some size comparisons, so let me bring in the ASUS Transformer Prime, put it right in the middle. It looks like it's upside down, but that's alright. We'll stack the 7-inch Nexus 7 tablet on top of the 10-inch tablet, and then I'll bring in the Samsung Galaxy Nexus smartphone. So it should give you a good indication of what to expect with all these different screen sizes. So let's flip these on their sides. Difference in thickness. As I mentioned before, just 1 millimeter difference here. It's very similar. Put that off to the side. Let's do the same with these two tablets. Obviously the Transformer Prime is much thinner, but again it has a larger surface area. So you would kind of expect that, right? Move this out of the way. Then we'll bring in the new iPad. How about we do this? Looks like we can actually fit two of these if we had them on the iPad. Thickness. Alright, so let's power it on. And while we're doing that, see what else is in the box. So it says Google. Here's the box. There's the Nexus symbol. What do we have in here? Looks like we have some manuals. We have our charge and sync cable right here. Standard stuff. Looks like we don't have any headphones, which is kind of strange. If I recall, Google usually includes some headphones with their Nexus devices, so they went a little cheap here, but here's the charging brick. A little different than the one I saw on the Transformer Prime. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to have to set up the device, so I'll go ahead and do that and then come back and show you a little tour of the software. Okay, so we're back, and as you can see, we're running Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. The Nexus 7 is actually the first device to come preloaded with Google's latest mobile OS, and as you might have noticed, we're actually running the smartphone version of the Android launcher as opposed to the tablet version you might have seen on larger screen tablets. And I guess that's because this is only a 7-inch device. Google probably thinks your preference should be in portrait mode, at least when you're in the home screen. When you're outside of the home screen, you can actually rotate to landscape, like in applications. Also, this device is recognized as a tablet, in case you are worried about that. As evident in the Google Play Store, you can see here staff picks for tablets, so you do have your choice of all the great tablet optimized apps. An example of this would be the IMDb application. Let's go ahead and rotate to landscape, and you can see here this is the tablet version, much different than the smartphone version. Another example of that would be the Chrome browser. And just a side note here, Chrome is now the default browser on the Nexus 7. So if you haven't used it before, you're going to have to get used to it because this is what comes stock. Zoom in here. Also take note that this is the tablet version of Chrome. So you have your multi-tabs up here. So let's jump out of there, pull the Windows shade down. And it doesn't look like I have any notifications, but if I did, some of them would actually be expandable and actionable because Google introduced that feature, or those set of features with Jelly Bean. Let me actually show you a small example of this. Take a screenshot, pull the shade down, and you can see we actually have a preview of the screenshot that I just took. So very nice. You didn't have that before with any previous versions of Android. So now let's go to the app tray and just swipe around here. Check out performance and see how it performs. You can see it's very smooth. The animations and transitions look great, and that's because Google took the initiative of improving the performance in Android. So they're calling this Project Butter, and you can see it's as smooth as butter here. Here are the widgets. Now, one of the cool new features of Jelly Bean is the enhanced voice search. What's the weather like in Las Vegas?
It's 91 degrees and mostly cloudy in Las Vegas. Here's the forecast for the next few days.
So as you just witnessed, not only can you ask questions using your voice, it'll actually speak back to you and give you results that way. Very convenient. It's almost like having a little personal assistant on your tablet. Very similar to Siri on the iPhone, if you will. Let's do another. What's the definition of personal assistant?
Personal assistant, a secretary or administrative assistant working exclusively for one person.
I especially like that the voice sounds very natural. It doesn't sound as robotic as it does on some other implementations of text-to-speech. How old is Obama?
Barack Obama is 50 years old.
Now, the questions I'm asking now, I'm getting results in the form of these informative cards. It's not always going to be like that. Sometimes you'll only get Google search results, as you can see here. But that's fine. Show me pictures of cheeseburgers. Alright, so as you can tell, I'm kind of hungry, but that's okay. Let's jump out of there. Now, this is all tied into another new feature called Google Now. So you can access that if you swipe up, and this will give you relevant information related to your location, daily habits, and the current time. So it gets to know you, it gets to know how you use your device and your daily routine. And then it'll give you information, or it'll have that information ready for you at the swipe of a finger. It might also give you some notifications along the bottom. Now you have to actually use this for a while before it starts to kick in, so I'm not going to be able to demo that, but here are some samples of what it covers. So weather, traffic, public transit, flight information, sports scores from your favorite team, your next appointment, translation currency, time back home places. So a lot of travel related items. Go back home. Let's check out some reading material. Since this is a 7-inch tablet, a lot of you are probably going to be using it to read magazines and ebooks. So you can see here we have a magazine loaded up. Jump out. How about a book? This is actually the Nexus 7 guidebook. It's 100 pages and comes preloaded on the Nexus 7. Nice page turning animations. So you can see this smaller form factor is actually very nice to read books. Go back out of there, and for those of you who like to watch multimedia, Google actually included the whole Transformers Dark of the Moon movie. Now you can either stream this through YouTube, or I believe you can download the whole film. Before I end this video, I just want to give you a quick preview of an upcoming game review I'll be doing. This is Dead Trigger by Madfinger Games, and I'll be reviewing it on the Nexus 7 as well as the HTC Evo 4G LTE and the Asus Transformer Prime. So this is optimized for the Tegra 3 processor, so you get some nice effects. Very cool zombie shooter in first person. Alright, so this was the unboxing of the Google Nexus 7. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more coverage on the Nexus 7.